Welcome. I'm Molly Goodwin with the Boston Renegades, and we are just 2 weeks away from our season opener that will be held on April 29th at Harry Delarusso Stadium right here in Revere. We hope that you'll join us, and if you haven't already, please get your season tickets at our team store. I'd like to welcome our two guests today. The first time we've had players on the show. It's Stephanie Pascual and Chante Bonds. We're really happy to have you here. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
I'm excited to have you as our first players because you guys had an amazing year last year, a really amazing year, and want to make sure that our viewers understand that all the stuff that you've done on and off the field. Steph, but before we do that, why don't you let us tell us a little bit about yourself and what's your football origin story, if you will.
So I've been playing with the Boston Renegades for 6 seasons now. Before joining the Boston Renegades, I had no idea that tackle football even existed. Yeah. I played flag football before this, just recreationally. A couple of my friends and I just started a team and started playing, and I quickly fell in love with it. I think my first season playing flag, I was defensive MVP for the league. And
I forgot you started out with us as a linebacker
I
too,
did,
right?
Yeah. I started as a linebacker.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I had no idea it existed, but I think throughout my whole life, I always felt like I wanted to play football. I remember just saying, like, if I could play, I would be a linebacker. Like, that's the position I would want to play. And it was always if I could play. You know, I just never thought it was a thing. And so joining the Renegades in 2017, I realized that there were so many players like Chante, you know, Allison Cahill, so many other players who have been around for so long. And I kind of felt like, wow, why didn't I know about this? And I wish I would have known sooner. I just wasted a lot of time. Yeah. But yeah, I've been playing for 6 years now, and I love every second of it. I think that this was what I was made to play. I was born to play this game, and I just wish I would have known about it sooner. Yeah.
Chante, tell us a little bit about your origin story. You played for more than one team.
Yeah, so I started playing in New York. I was out there for a job. I was coaching women's basketball, and I was on a beach on vacation and ran into now teammate Adrian Smith on the beach, who told me about the New York Sharks, gave me a business card for the team, and it sat on my dresser for a couple of years, and then next thing you know, I'm trying out for the team. So I played for New York for 2 years, and then work brought me back home to Massachusetts, gave me the opportunity to try out for the Boston Renegades.
Yeah, lucky for us.
Right. Yeah. Lucky for me too, because here I am, you know, 4-time national champion with the Renegades, and this is I want to say my 10th season playing football. So.
And before we jump into this season, I'd like to talk just a little bit about last year for a minute. It was an amazing year for both of you, as I said before. Not only did you guys win your 4th consecutive national championship, but you guys also won a gold medal with Team USA at the World Championships in Finland. Chante, tell me what that feeling was like for you to represent your country.
Yeah, you know, Stephanie and I kind of talked about this on our way out to training camp. Once we knew we were selected for the team. And, you know, to be honest, I kind of had mixed feelings about representing our country. And I think a lot of it had to do with, you know, what our country is going through right now, the racial divide that we have right now in our country, and the feeling that I've had for a few years that our country didn't really love people who look like me. And so I had some mixed feelings about it going into it. But once we got to training camp and I saw all the other women who made the team, and the majority of them looked like me. So that piece of it made it awesome to feel like I was representing our country, but representing our culture. And to come away with a gold medal after all of it was amazing. It was a great
powerful.
feeling.
It was really powerful. Steph, did you have the same sort of feelings? I know you said you guys talked about it a little bit, but was that a similar sense that you had?
Yeah, I think I felt similarly, but I think that just like Chante, once you got there and you were surrounded by so many women who were there for the same reason, and we all earned it, we're all there and we're all playing together, I think you kind of forget about what's going on outside of those lines, outside of that, off that field, and you start to really think and play for the people around you. And it was such a short period of time, but I think we quickly gelled, and it was just a great experience to be playing with those players and those women from all over the country, and women that you have heard about and that you've seen play, and you finally get to meet them in person, but you're all on the field, and you're on that field, you're going and fighting, and playing together and playing for the person next to you. And I think at the end of the day, that's what really
And
mattered.
you were in camp for about 2 weeks before you went to the championship, so you got a chance to be like a professional athlete, to wake up in the morning and do football all day and become, really hone your skills during those couple of weeks. What was that like for you guys?
Yeah, that was awesome. I think that's probably what I came back and like bragged about the most. And I think at first I was almost, I was nervous, I think going into it, it's going to be a pretty intense, 2 weeks before you're going into the games. And I think everyone is competing. You're all on the same team, but you're competing for spots, right? Yeah. And so you're going in there, you're trying to figure out, where am I going to fit in? How do I fit into the team strategy? And what do I have to offer for this team? But I think, it was just, it was nice to just be there and not have to think about work, and then, quickly transition to try to go to practice. It was just all football. I really, I'm grateful because my my employer allowed me to go there and kind of disconnect completely, and so I was able to just focus on football 24/7, and I think that was the best piece.
Yeah, for sure, the best piece. It was morning, noon, night. It was football. It was awesome. You wake up in the morning, football.
Yeah, I just
watch film.
Always thought how good could we really be if we got to spend that kind of time all the time.
All the time, right?
Just taking care of our bodies, practicing, doing all the things.
Yeah.
All day.
Studying.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think a lot of the game is also knowing the plays and knowing where you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to do for your job, because this is your job. And then even after practices, there were, we had recovery time, and there were resources available to us to be able to recover and come back and be 100%.
Ooh, right.
Yeah. That's pretty
resources, time. It was awesome.
And what an incredible experience. I hope you guys get to do it again. That means you'll be around with us for a while longer. Let's turn to the national championship game. We won. We played the Minnesota Vixen. We won 32-12. It never really seemed like it was in jeopardy us winning. We got out to an early start, but I think because you played quarterback, which you normally don't play quarterback, that last year you play everything for us, but last year you were playing defensive back, and we had an injury to Allison Cahill in the first round of playoffs. So tell me what went through your mind as you guys, because we know that you're the backup, so Steph, what were you thinking when Al got hurt?
Yeah. As a receiver, your quarterback gets hurt, you're just like, what are we going to do? I literally can't get the ball if, the quarterback doesn't throw it to us, right? I think, so it's a big piece. And Chante had big shoes to step into. But I think that at first, when I first realized that she was hurt, I think, I'm like, is she okay? Is it serious? I think I was really concerned about her. And my teammate, and making sure that she was okay. Yeah. And then the thought was, what are we going to do? Playoffs are around the corner. Yeah, right. How do we get anyone in to fill Al's shoes, because she's just an amazing quarterback, and you can really feel it when she's not there. But I think Chante, as we've seen multiple times, can step into multiple positions, and she's so versatile, and really is a perfectionist, and really in anything that she does wants to make sure that she's the best at what she does.
And she's willing.
How much
there are
time.
other players that wouldn't have been as willing, wouldn't have wanted
and did an amazing job at it. So
thank you.
I'm glad we had her.
We are too, and I think, like you said, the game was never in question except for that we didn't have our quarterback, right? Yeah. So I think that there was that looming question for the greater population of fans in our sport. But for us, our staff, you've played quarterback in Al's stead before. So we knew what you were capable of. We knew what the team could rally around you and do. And we also knew that you have Coach Vern and you've got Allison Cahill willing to help him prepare you. Yeah. So talk a little bit about what you went through to get ready for those games and you know how those guys were able to help you along the way.
Yeah, so Vern and Al were just a tremendous piece of me being prepared. The other piece was having 2 weeks before the next game. Yeah. And so Vern did a really great job of just changing the offense around a little bit to meet my strengths. And then, you know, Al is just, she's such a student of the game. You know, I'm in her apartment watching film over and over again on different defenses and how to read linebackers versus outside linebacker versus the DBs, you know, what type of defense.
Training,
yeah, all of it. So it helped me to understand the game on a different level to help me be prepared for those games. And now I feel like I'm a better player because of it. Yeah. And so, yeah, the last time I played quarterback, we didn't quite make it as far. So being in that role again, I was determined to make sure that we got to that championship game. And so we were lucky enough to come out with that win too. Yeah. I don't know if it was luck or prep or
it was all of it. And Chante, you were I just want to read, you went 6 for 10 passing, you rushed for 127 yards and 2 touchdowns, and you were awarded the game MVP, which I mean you shined. And as a result of the MVP, your jersey's now enshrined in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. That's pretty amazing. Tell me what the response has been to that with your fans and friends and teammates.
Yeah, so everyone, I mean, it's been awesome. Yeah, yeah, I'm still like, I can't stop smiling about it, just you mentioning all that stuff. Yeah, my mom is really, really proud. I remember my uncles being super proud. I mean, my entire family, like, very proud. The team, for sure. I think I'm just lucky to have so many supporters behind me, supporting me and having my back. So I appreciate all of them, fans included. Yeah.
And not only just family, but we went to go visit the Hall of Fame this past winter to check out the jersey. We did, to check out the jersey, and we were searching for it throughout the whole facility, and then we finally found it. And Chante's like, yeah, we were taking pictures in front of it, and just, you know, a random stranger comes by and he's like, can I get your picture? Is that your jersey? And so I feel like, you know, she's kind of a superstar. It's kind of a big deal. So
yeah, she is. So let's jump to this season. We recently held 2 mini camps, which we hadn't had the opportunity to do before. And the first one was held at the University of Connecticut at their football facility, which I thought was really cool. And just to be in a place where it's all about football, the entire thing. So kind of back to your opportunity with the national team to practice like that. Well, now you're actually in a facility that's just for football. What was that like for you guys?
Yeah, I thought it was awesome. I thought the facility was amazing. The field is a lot different than what we're used to playing on, and I think there were like some mixed reviews. It was like, wait, this is like really fluffy, or you know, it was different. But you know, state of the art facility
for sure.
And again, just to have the opportunity to be about football all day long. There's no chance to do anything but get better in that type of environment. So yeah, lucky to have that type of relationship with UConn football, and I was super excited to be there all day.
Yeah.
I feel the same. I think it kind of brought us back to, I think, what we were experiencing for Team USA. Gave us a little bit of a taste. I think, you know, we get little bits and pieces of it here and there, and it's hard because you want more. I think you get a piece of that, and it's hard not to think that, yes, this is awesome, but also, you know, we deserve this all the time. And these, when you think about it, these are collegiate athletes. These, you know, UConn football players, they're not professional players. And, you know, we're a women's tackle football team, a professional women's tackle football team, and we don't have a piece of that. And so I think mixed feelings between feeling grateful for that opportunity and to be able to be on the field for as long as we were, and to also have access to, you know, watch film, and then also have bonding experiences with our teammates, and, you know, learn about, you know, I think we did it, you know,
A team building.
A team building activity with with the rookies, and that was awesome. So I think it was an awesome experience. I think we want more and we deserve more.
Yeah, and we had another camp at the track at New Balance, which is another world-class facility, not specifically for football, but world-class. And we're making we have some nice connections with these folks now, and I think we're going to start to see more and more of that type of thing. Yeah. Do you think those kinds of camps and those experiences, how is that going to translate into our season? Is it going to help us? Is that something that, we did them kind of late in the season too, so doing to it is, how is that for your bodies and with your job and recovery and all that? I'm just interested to see how, as players, that translates for you into the coming season.
I mean, I think that it does take a toll on the body, like 2 days, and then when this isn't your full-time job, and, then you have to go back and recover and, go back to business as usual. But I think it's getting us prepped for the season. We practice the way we play, and we're practicing the way we play throughout both of those sessions. Yeah. So we're really going hard for, 4 or 5 hours in that day, and I think that that's going to really come out and show the work that we put in this preseason when we have our first game next week.
If I could add, I would say the other piece of it is where you were mentioning about the team exercises of being able to get to know each other. Because otherwise, right, without that time, we're practicing here in Revere 8 to 10 o'clock at night. And so you come in right after work, you practice, and you take your behind back home, right? So there's no real opportunity to kind of get to know each other unless we have an away trip or something like that, which happens later on in the season. So I think having those 2 weekends where we had that camp and got to know each other, I think what we are on the field is even better when we are who we are off the field, and we kind of know each other. Yeah. We play harder for each other when you have that love for each other, and I think we were able to develop that pretty early on this season. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we do on the field as a result.
Yeah, it's interesting because with a football squad, there's 60, 65 people out there. Mm-hmm. Most of the sports that we've played in throughout our life are basketball, where you maybe have 12 people on a squad or something like that. So it's hard to, especially when you're separated by position and offense and defense, it's hard to get to know your teammates if there isn't some time built in like that. So I think that's powerful. Yeah. One thing we haven't talked about, Steph, is that you are lucky enough to have played with both of your sisters now. You played with Angelica a few years ago. She was one of our running backs, and now you get to play with your kid sister, Selena. What's that like?
Kid sister. No, I think it's been awesome. We tried to get Angelica to come back so that we could all play in the same year, but again, because of jobs and careers and life, we aren't able to do that. But I think it's an invaluable experience, and I think an experience that I'm gonna, cherish. I think seeing her she plays linebacker, and I started off at linebacker, and I think that you gotta have a special kind of grit, it's amazing to watch them, fly across the field and just completely destroy someone.
Has she gotten a hold of you yet?
No.
Not yet.
They battle, though. They definitely
do battle, I beat her on a one-on-one the other day.
Don't let her forget.
So, and since she's younger, I think, I can brag about that. So, but it's awesome to see her, and I know that she's going to be around for a while, and this is her second season, and it's been great to see her grow. I think she's
talented.
Be awesome.
She's part of the future of this team, for
absolutely.
Sure. For sure. And we miss Jelly, so if you can talk her into coming back, we'd love it. We have a great recruiting class this year, too. Ben Brown has just been killing it with the people that he's brought in over the last 4 or 5 years, which is important because we've seen a lot of turnover in the 4 or 5 years. Tell me, what are you thinking about the new recruits, and do you have a couple that you think might be able to make an impact with us right away? Yeah, and you don't have to call anybody out if you don't want to.
I think our recruits this year, our rookie class is really good. I think there's a lot of potential there. They're all eager to learn, and I think that they will make an impact this year. I think it's just a matter of time, earning their keep, continuing to study the game, which they're all willing to do. So keeps me on my toes, right? Because there's someone breathing down my neck, which is good. It's good to have that internal competition. So yeah, I think it's going to be a good year, and these this rookie class is going to be pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, I think Ben does an amazing job at all things that he does. I think we're lucky to have him. And I think recruiting is definitely one of those things. And I think I've had this and I don't know where I got it from, but I've just been thinking lately, make sure that you're carrying the torch forward. And I honestly don't know where I got that from, but I think it's just been like in the back of my mind. And I think that it is fitting for our season because there's so many rookies. And at least it feels that way. And because we have such a good incoming class, I think they're going to be able to see the field and really get out there and like make an impact. But I think that I also, with that, want to make sure that they also understand, where we come from and the traditions that we already have in place and how important this is. And, when you're out there and you're, blocking for somebody on offense, you could be that one block between them and that defender who might be able to hit them, and it might be, we're playing you were playing a competitive sport, and injuries do happen, and so when you're out there, you really gotta take your job seriously and protect your teammates, and so. So I think that it's a mindset and understanding
and teaching them how to be professionals, right?
Right,
exactly.
What it means to be a professional on and off the field.
Absolutely,
Yeah, so I think we're really lucky to have you guys as elder statesmen, because clearly you're incredible people.
Thank you. Appreciate that, Molly.
Yeah, and to have you guys with this young class, you can see the future of the team. So I think that's really important. You're playing wide receiver this year.
Yeah, trying something out.
Yeah, how did you make that decision?
I don't know. I think I wanted a new challenge this year.
You haven't had enough?
It's very challenging, I think. Our offense is amazing, right? And Vern does a really good job, but there are a lot of intricate details that I don't really have privy to if I come over later on in the season. That typically happens, right? With injuries and things like that. I might get pulled over there from time to time, and I don't want to feel like a liability this year on offense, where it's like folks have to tell me what I need to do on every play, essentially. So I figured, let me get over there early, learn these plays outright, and if they need me on defense, wherever, how I am, wherever they need me, I'll be there. But yeah, I just wanted a new challenge this year.
Does that mean we're going to get you as a linebacker this year?
I've already put that in as a request, but I don't know if it happens.
I know, Johnny might pull you over there.
What's it like to get to play with her full time?
I think that for me, having her on defense a lot of times, what I, appreciate about our organization in general, but also Chante as a player, is that that you're going against some of the best. So when she was on the other side, I knew that my best reps were going to be in practice, and games were going to be a piece of cake because I know that I'm getting the best look. And so having her on the other side, I'm gonna please go back to the other side. But no, we have great defenders there now too. But having her on our side, I think it's nice because we get to study together and look at plays together. So it's been helpful. And she's so knowledgeable. She's been playing for so long, so it's helpful.
But honestly, I feel like I'm learning. Right, I'm still learning,
which is fun.
Which is so
fun part of football, right?
Yeah, and she's kind of like the expert now. Right. Although I've been playing for a long time, I haven't been playing within this offense. I just get pulled over. So now I'm able to ask her questions, and again, she's the expert in it. So it's been nice. Yeah,
that's great. Well, your families are also great. They come to all the games. It must be fun for them to get to see you all together, and particularly with your sister. That's a really fun thing. Do you guys have any predictions for the season?
Besides another national championship?
I know, right?
Besides another ring?
Yeah.
I mean, that's always the goal, right? But what do you have any? What do you expect to see from some of our other teams? We play the DC Divas first.
Right.
Then we go to Detroit.
Yep.
Then we've got Pittsburgh twice. We have DC again and Tampa Bay on our schedule this year.
Yeah.
Who are you expecting to be the front runner of that bunch?
Oof. That's tough, right? I feel like DC is always the wild card. That's just because we've been playing against them for so long, and they were our rivals, right?
Yeah.
And so I know they've had some turnover with coaching staff and things like that, but there's a good core group of players that are there, and they are hungry. So who knows, to be honest with you. I'm expecting everybody to give their best because of who we are and kind of, you know, us trying to defend the national championship. We're gonna get the best from each team. So I don't know who. Pittsburgh's pretty good too. I mean, you know, former quarterback who's now their offensive coordinator, knows our team really well. Has
Lisa
a lot
Horton.
of
she's great.
Lisa's
one
great.
of the best there ever was.
Has a lot of tricks up her sleeves, you know, likes to trick play stuff. So I feel like it's going to be a really fun season.
Oh, she coached you guys on,
on
the U.S. team.
Yeah. Yes.
So you already got a taste of it.
So yeah.
Talk about a football IQ.
Yeah.
I know.
Terrific. Terrific. Well, is there anything else you'd like to add about the season?
I would just add that I think it's important for folks to know that our game will be, or sorry, not our game, hopefully our game.
Yeah.
But the national championship game for the Women's Football Alliance will be aired on ESPN2 on July 22nd.
July 22nd.
Yeah.
All of our home games will be aired on Revere TV.
Awesome.
We'll also have a couple of our games nationally televised on the Women's Sports Network. So there are plenty of ways for people to watch us. So I really appreciate you guys coming in today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
The first one's on the show. I think someday we'll look back at this and go, wow, we actually have our show.
We did that, right?
We talked about that for a minute. Like, will you be my first guest?
We did.
Yeah.
Wow, look at us now. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, so thank you for coming on, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah.
So thank you for tuning in. Like you said, our season opener is the 29th of this month at Harry Delarusso Stadium. Please get your tickets at our team store and look for us next week. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.